Hey, Falcons fans, get ready to feel the heat. The final preseason showdown against the Dallas Cowboys wasn't just a game, it was a high-stakes battlefield where dreams were made and hearts were broken. With the 53-man roster deadline looming like a storm cloud over Flowery Branch, the Atlanta Falcons are in the midst of a roster reckoning that's got every fan on the edge of their seat. Who's rising to the top? Who's teetering on the brink? And what bombshells are waiting to drop as we charge into the 2025 season? Buckle up, because we're diving into the fire with a breakdown of the movers, shakers, and question marks from Friday's game. This is the kind of drama that'll keep you glued to your screen, craving the next chapter. Trust us, you don't want to miss what's coming. Head coach Raheem Morris didn't mince words when he called the Cowboys game the make the roster game. For the players fighting for a spot on the Atlanta Falcons 53-man roster, or even a practice squad lifeline, Friday night was their Super Bowl. The energy was electric, the stakes were sky high, and every snap was a chance to prove they belong in the red and black. Morris made it clear, this was about solidifying roles, seizing opportunities, and showing the NFL world what Falcons Nation is made of. So, who stepped up? Who faltered? And what does it all mean for the regular season? Let's break it down with the kind of passion that makes you want to scream "Rise Up" at the top of your lungs. Some players didn't just play, they owned the field on Friday, delivering performances that had Falcons fans buzzing like a Georgia summer night. These are the guys who are making it impossible for the coaching staff to cut them. Let's start with Nick Nash, the undrafted free agent who's got Falcons Nation in a frenzy. This guy was a human highlight reel against the Cowboys, hauling in 6 catches for 87 yards off Easton Stick's 20 completions for 198 yards. That's not just a stat line, it's a statement. Nash was a favorite target all night, showing the kind of hands and hustle that make coaches take notice. The problem? Atlanta's receiver room is deeper than the Chattahoochee River, potentially 7 deep on the 53-man roster. With names like Chris Blair and Dylan Drummond also making noise this preseason, Nash might be fighting for a practice squad spot. But let's be real, after that performance, he's got future star written all over him. Can he sneak onto the final roster? Or will he be a practice squad gem waiting to shine? Falcons Nation, you're not going to want to look away from this kid. If you thought D. Alford was just a nickel corner, Friday night flipped that script. The Falcons threw a curveball, playing Alford outside for most of the first half, and he didn't just survive, he thrived. This wasn't a random experiment, it was a calculated move to cross-train Alford for when injuries inevitably hit the secondary. With depth already a concern, Alford's ability to slide from slot to outside makes him a defensive Swiss Army knife. He locked down the Cowboys' reserves with the kind of swagger that screams, "I'm a lock for the 53." His versatility is a game changer, and with the regular season looming, Alford's stock is skyrocketing. This is the kind of player who could change the game when we face Tampa Bay in Week 1. Last week, Nathan Carter had everyone talking. This week, Elijah Dotson stole the spotlight, bulldozing his way through the Cowboys' defense with 12 carries for 74 yards and a 6.2 yards per carry average. That's the kind of grit that gets you noticed. Dotson dominated in the second half, helping the Falcons rack up 147 rushing yards as a team. Coach Morris was practically glowing in his post-game interview, singling out Dotson for his effort. With only one running back spot open behind superstars Bijan Robinson and Tyler Allgeier, Dotson's making a compelling case. But here's the kicker, Carter was no slouch last week, and Carlos Washington Jr. is still in the mix despite a hamstring injury. Who gets the nod? The clock's ticking, and the tension is thicker than a peach cobbler. Dotson's got the momentum, but has he done enough to lock it in? Not every player left Friday's game with a hero's cape. Some performances, or lack thereof, left us with more questions than answers, and Falcons Nation is feeling the heat. Younghoe Koo, can the fan favorite find his groove? Younghoe Koo is the heartbeat of Atlanta's kicking game, but his 51-yard field goal miss on Friday was a gut punch. After an injury-riddled 2024, we were hoping Koo would come out swinging, silencing any doubters with that ice-cold precision we know he's capable of. Instead, that miss amplified the whispers about his consistency. Let's be clear, Koo's not going anywhere, he's still the guy for the 53-man roster. But Falcons Nation needs him to channel that clutch magic that's made him a legend. The regular season is no time for doubts, and with games against tough opponents like Tampa Bay on the horizon, who's got to step up and kick those worries to the curb? You got this, young ho, show us why you're the best. Here's a tough pill to swallow. Jamal Agnew might be in trouble. Signed as a return specialist to replace Avery Williams, Agnew's been sidelined by an oblique injury, barely showing up in practice or games. Meanwhile, Ray McLeod, D. Alford, Mike Hughes, and even Natron Brooks are proving they can handle return duties with flair. With Atlanta's receiver room bursting at the seams, does Agnew's one-dimensional skill set justify a roster spot? It's a brutal question, but with only 53 spots to go around, the Falcons might have to make a cold-hearted decision. Agnew's upside as a receiver is intriguing, but without game tape to back it up, he's a question mark wrapped in a mystery. Do the Falcons need him? Or is he a luxury they can't afford? This one's keeping us up at night. If you're a Falcons fan, the offensive tackle situation is giving you nightmares. Caleb McGarry is out for significant time after being carted off during practice, and Storm Norton is sidelined for 6 to 8 weeks after ankle surgery. That leaves Atlanta's tackle depth shakier than a rookie in the pocket. Elijah Wilkinson stepped into McGarry's spot during practice, but the Falcons played it safe by sitting him Friday. That left Jack Nelson and Brandon Parker to hold down the fort, and while they were fine isn't going to cut it when the regular season hits. Coach Morris is keeping his cards close, but he hinted at two paths: stick with Wilkinson and wait for McGarry and Norton to heal, or make a splash for a trade or waiver pickup. With the season opener against Tampa Bay looming, the Falcons need answers at tackle fast. Will they roll the dice or swing for the fences? This is the kind of drama that keeps Falcons Nation on pins and needles. The Falcons didn't waste time trimming their 90-man roster, dropping 12 players on Sunday and placing Jake Hansen on injured reserve for the season. The biggest shocker? Morgan Fox, a veteran defensive lineman with 120 games of experience, got the boot. Despite playing all 3 preseason games, his 4 tackles, 1 for a loss, didn't make the cut. Other notable releases included Elijah Dotson, a tough blow after his strong showing, along with Ben DiNucci, Lamar Jackson, and Quincy Skinner Jr. With 24 more cuts needed by Tuesday's 4 p.m. Eastern Time deadline, the pressure is on. Who's next? And who's going to sneak onto the 53? The stakes couldn't be higher, and Falcons Nation is holding its breath. Falcons Nation, this is just the appetizer. The main course is coming, and it's going to be a feast. The 53-man roster is taking shape, but the real fireworks are still to come. Will Nash or Dotson defy the odds and make the cut? Can Koo rediscover his clutch swagger? And what's the plan at tackle? Stick with the depth chart or pull off a blockbuster move? With the regular season kicking off against Tampa Bay and a brutal schedule ahead, the Falcons are ready to unleash hell. This team's got the talent, the heart, and the hunger to make 2025 a season to remember. Stay locked in, because the next wave of news is going to hit like a freight train. Keep it locked on our channel for more updates, bold predictions, and insider takes as the Falcons soar into 2025. Rise up!